Hey, everybody, and welcome to another Seductive Poison, the Resurgence Triple Threat Review Show. Not sure why that little thingamabob popped up there again. It seems that StreamYard is updated because it's got a few new things whenever you go live. Um, Check it out, gang. Steve got, hey, Kathy. Steve got me this from Timu, and I believe this. You heard Jay talk about the tank tops from Timu being so soft and comfortable. Well, this shirt is the same way. And if you can't tell, it's Buffalo Bill's body lotion. And it says it rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again at the bottom. Um, hey, Batman. So I hope y'all like the new shirt that Steve got me. I was like, I got to put it on. I got to put it on before the stream tonight. Um, and so I love the color too. I love this type of color. I have another shirt that's this color as well. But man, is it soft. So I, I highly recommend getting t-shirts from Timu. Um, Thanks, Candace. I love it too. Steve got his Timu package in, and he had already told me there was something for me in it. And I said, "Have you told me what it was?" And he said, "No, I didn't tell you what it was." I said, "Well, I didn't know if it was a surprise or not." And sure enough, like I saw Buffalo Bill, or I saw actually it rubs, and I was like, he got me a Buffalo Bill shirt. He got me like a Silence of the Lamb shirt. And so I'm in love with this shirt, not only with the design, but also um, the feel of it. I mean, it just feels wonderful. Um, Thank you. Blissful loves the shirt too. So everybody's loving the shirt. Kathy says, cool shirt. Thank you, Kathy. Um, so, since Kathy is in here, I don't see Jay in here, or don't see Jay just yet. Um, the bears are on their way. I've shipped them out. However, I'm having a little trouble with Stripe. Stripe's not wanting to give me my money. And if they keep screwing around with me too much longer, because I finally got my PayPal account to work. I'm like, sayonara, Stripe. I'm not fooling with this anymore. I mean, I know they got to do security checks and make sure, like Steve was mentioning, make sure somebody's not got a money laundering scheme going on. But geez, Louise, how much information? What do I got to give them? Uh, Unicorn blood and all that stuff. It's like I keep giving them stuff and they say, we can't verify your site, can't verify your products. And on and on and on it goes. And so I finally emailed them. I said, look, you guys will not. I mean, the whole reason why I sent the link to Kathy and Jay was because they told me you're all set up to receive payments, and they'll be sent to your bank account. Now they're giving me this crap about sorry, we can't verify your site and your products and all that stuff. And it's like, dudes, I already have sent out people's orders, they paid for them. It's like you're holding my money hostage, basically. And so what I said, probably a DNA sample. That's right, Blissum. Um, but never fear, Kathy and Jay, if you hear this later. If they keep screwing around with me and won't verify it, what I am going to do, yeah, they had no problem processing the payments. Yours and Jay's both went through like a charm. But what they're doing is holding my payout. They got the money, but they're holding on to it. They won't give it to me, or they won't give me, my portion of it, which is, I think, $107 is what I get, which works for me. So what I'm planning on doing, there's not going to be any trouble on your end, Kathy, or Jay's end. Um, and what I'm going to do is I can refund y'all's money on my end. And so if they won't give it to me, what I'm going to do is refund the money to y'all. And I trust y'all that when you get the refund back, I'm willing to wait until you get the refund back. I'm giving them one more chance, and if they say they can't verify my site for some ridiculous reason, I've jumped through a million hoops with them today trying to get this worked out. And then what I'm going to do, because I finally got my PayPal account to work, I finally got it connected. So if they screw around with me one more time, I'm just going to say that's it for Stripe. I've already got PayPal set up, so I'll refund y'all's money, and you can wait until the money's refunded back in your accounts. Okay, I'm not going to ask you to see resend the money to me until y'all get your money back. And then at that point in time, Kathy, you can reorder. And then we'll let that payment go through. But because I know both you and Jay, and I know you would never stiff me on this because y'all paid right up front. And I do apologize for the fact that Stripe's being a bitch about all this stuff. I mean, I understand about security, I understand about it. But, you know, I'm not running drugs. I'm not running a money laundering scheme. I'm trying to put out product to people and hopefully get a little payment. But then you say maybe you have to be like Kay and produce some sacrificial blood. I don't know. It's like they said, I went and I looked at stuff. So you basically have to have a privacy policy on your site. You have to have contact information plainly visible on your site, which I was going to put all that, but I thought I had time to put it. I didn't know that I had to put it or we're going to hold your money hostage. You have to have like a terms and conditions and stuff like that. So I put all of that. I put all the links to those pages so they can go and, take care of, looking at that on my site. I've done all the legwork for them. Now all they got to do, and they said something early on that they couldn't verify my product. I've only got one product on there right now, but it's clearly visible in the shop. The Booga Booga Bears, the price and everything. So I don't know what their deal is. But being as I've got 12 people in here, I probably should get a move on here before I lose my whole audience. But yeah, Kathy, I'll let you know if you need to repurchase. But like I said, I'm going to give them one more chance. And if they screw around with me anymore, I'm not fooling with them anymore because I don't know what else I can provide for them. I just don't. Um, so, um, anyway, what do we got coming up for the rest of the week? Of course, as I said, during the, can't talk, Terror Time tea this morning, I reminded everybody that was in there that there will be no midday with Dana and Jay tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'll try to get together with Jay and set up an evening edition at some point so we can kind of do a makeup stream, so to speak. Because me and Steve will be at the Newport Aquarium tomorrow seeing sharks and other sea life. I'm going to take a ton of pictures. So hopefully you guys will, that are my friends on Facebook, will get to see it. And if you're not my friend on Facebook, maybe I can share some of those pictures on one of the upcoming streams. And then Saturday and Sunday, there will be no movie munchies for Sunday. I apologize for that. However, probably the next movie munchies, Kathy, I'm going to be using, I'm going to kind of be using the recipe that you sent me for the Milky Way cake. However, I'm going to try it with Snicker bars. and see how that turns out. And I decided not to do the Easter themed critters cake to take to my mom's. Um, but I want to still do that critters thing. So, what I'm going to do is replace the Milky Ways with Snickers. We're going to see how this turns out. And then I'm going to ice this cake with green, it's going to look like green grass on there. And then I'm going to do the homicidal homemaker chocolate peanut butter eggs. And I'm going to try to do my critter to put on the cake as well. So you can look forward to that the next time that I do a movie munchies. But the two watch alongs we got coming up, Saturday night's watch along starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time, will be Stir of Echo starring Kevin Bacon. I believe it's based on a Richard Matheson story. Sunday's watch along will be for um, George Romero's Night Riders, and that will also be starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So you guys and gals can look forward to all of that upcoming. And Kathy, you say Snicker bars should work? All right, cool. And Kathy, you also say, I watch Terror Time tea later in my morning, too early to join in live. Well, I had been, I don't know if you heard me say this or not, Kathy, but my plan is so I can have this weekly. I won't be able to have it every day, but weekly. Fridays when I work half a day, I will do probably a tear time tea between 11:30 and 12. I've got to, get the time worked out because sometimes I have to work over and sometimes I work a little bit over and sometimes I don't on Fridays. But in any event, I get off early. You know, I get off kind of over half a day. But so my plans are to do the tear time tea and do it early enough where I'll still have time to do midday with Dana and Jay. So you guys will get a bonus show on Fridays. So, um, got all that out of the way. So let's get to these movies, shall we? Oh, and by the way, there should be, as soon as I get all the details worked out with it and get it all constructed, there should be an all new Booga Booga Bears commercial coming up soon for, of course, the Booga Booga Bears. All right. So to get to these movies tonight, first of all, it's 1974's Black Christmas. Forget 2006's remake or reimagine, whatever you want to call it. Forget that horrible thing that was just like a year or two ago or whatever. Let's concentrate on the 1974 Bob Clark horror classic, which has one of the greatest and most adequate taglines I've ever seen. If this movie doesn't make your skin crawl, it's on too tight. And that is exactly right. Because if it doesn't, it makes my skin crawl every time I watch it. And as I've said before, the first time I watched Black Christmas, I didn't really get it. I didn't really like it. I thought it was overly vulgar and not scary. I don't know what drug I could have taken that made me think that. Yeah, the Blumhouse piece of shit one too. Yeah, that's right, Batman. Um, but thankfully, I waited a little bit and then I watched it again and I loved it that time. So you can see how things can change if you wait a while with a film. If you watch something and you're like, it's either meh or you hate it or something like that. If you can just get yourself into the mood where, hey, I'm going to give this thing another try. I did that with movies I hated, and sometimes I like them after that. Sometimes I still hate them, but at least I gave them another chance. Um, I don't know who's messaging me here. Hold on one sec here. So I'm going to have to answer Jay's question here in a little bit. Yeah, I know. I owe you an answer to your message you sent me a little bit earlier. Oh, by the way, I hate to interrupt this review, but me and Steve did go to the ramen house today, this evening. And it was very, very good. It was the first time I ever went to a ramen house and or any of these ramen restaurants. And it was delicious. Me and Steve both got the spicy miso. We figured that would be just spicy enough. There's one called Hell, but we wasn't even going to go there. Something that's called Hell, no. I think that would be too spicy. Um, Leslie, you say that sounds like fun. Yeah, we had a good time and enjoyed the food. We both finished our ramen bowl. You got a bowl of ramen and you could get chicken or pork in it. We both got chicken, but you get a bowl about yay big, and it's got ramen, it's got broth, it's or miso, it's got a lot of spices in it. Um, it's got bamboo shoots and yeah, just all kinds of goodness in there. Um, Batman, you say you watched Christmas, Bloody Christmas last night, and both A Christmas Story and Black Christmas was mentioned a couple of times. That's cool. Um, but back to Black Christmas from 1974. I The second time I watched it, I was watching it by myself. It was late at night. My parents were asleep. My brother was asleep. And if the phone, all I can tell you is if the phone had rang while I was watching that night, I would have jumped out of my skin. Literally would have jumped out of my skin. This movie, I don't have this that strong of a reaction when I watch it now, but I still get a reaction, or this it still elicits a reaction from me. I still get cold chills when I watch it. Just hearing that voice on the phone and the screaming and the multiple voice thing, and it's just unnerving. Um and so a little bit, I'm not going to give you the complete breakdown of the story, but you have college sorority sisters. Um Sorry, guys and gals. Jay's saying he's sorry he interrupted my show. He didn't interrupt the show. Jay, if you're listening, you didn't interrupt the show. Um, but So you have sorority sisters who most of them are going home for the Christmas holiday, and we have one particular sorority sister, Claire, who is planning on meeting her father at 1 the next day to go home for the holidays. Well, Claire ends up in the attic for the majority of the movie with a plastic bag over her face, um, and a doll in her arms and stuff that the killer has put there. And the killer is referred to as Billy. And there were a lot of different voices used for the phone calls. And it is said that Bob Clark, the director, actually did the most vulgar of the phone calls. Um, so the phone calls that they get start out as your regular, garden variety obscene phone call. Okay. And then they move into a more disturbing, uh, they take on a more disturbing aspect. Um, and we know, as the viewer of the film, that the calls are coming from inside the house because Billy, the killer, we've saw at the beginning of the film, someone is climbing up the trellis, going into the attic where he stays for the majority of the movie, except coming down from the attic to kill some of the sorority sisters. Um, so you have this back and forth kind of cat and mouse type of things. Plus, you got these creepy phone calls. And, the one person, the house mother, who actually goes up in the attic to look for Claude, the cat, um, gets killed. And so she joins Claire up there. But nobody else goes up in the attic for any reason. And so that is pretty much Billy's domain. But things really kick into high gear when Jess, played by Olivia Hussey, is the only one left alive in the house. And the cops have ended up tapping the phones so that they can hopefully figure out where this weirdo is that keeps calling. And so they find out that the calls are coming from inside the house. So the lieutenant, played by John Saxon, tells one of his underlings, he says, "You need to call this girl, but do not tell her that the caller is inside the house." But he ends up kind of having to because Jess wants to go upstairs and get her friends who we know are dead, but she doesn't. And he's like, "No, Jess, the calls are coming from inside the house. The caller is in the house." Um, so she still goes upstairs, right? Which is the dumbest move that Olivia Hussey's character of Jess makes in the whole movie. But hey, she's worried about her friends. So she goes up there and she's, wanting to check on the other two girls, and she hears a voice say, "Agnes, it's me, Billy." And she looks up and she sees one eyeball looking at her through a crack in the door. And that's enough to set off a whole chain of goosebumps in me. Because then she shoves the door on him, hurting him. He screams and yells. He's fumbling out of the room. And she runs. And there's at one point where he grabs her hair and pulls her back. And she lets out this earth-shattering scream. And it's so tense. He's chasing her. He comes down the steps. She ends up locking herself in the basement. And there's a really tense scene where he's, ah, and beating against the door. And you think any moment that lock on that door is going to break. But he finally gives up and she goes into hiding. But the build up to this stunning, conclusion is one of the greatest build-ups in horror film history for me. This movie is never boring, never, in my opinion, never ever boring, um, and really works on all levels to make you scared out of your mind, basically. If you can watch this movie and it not give you goosebumps, I want to hear from you. I want you to tell me, "Hey, Dana, this movie did absolutely shit for me." I doubt very few people, if any, could say that after watching this movie. And if you have seen this movie, I'd love to hear what you have to say about it in the chat. Thank you, Blissful. Blissful says, "Please hit the thumbs up." Thank you. And so, what is my rating for this fantastic movie here? I, of course, am going to have to give it 5 deadites out of 5. This one's off the scale fantastic. Okay. So, again, that is Black Christmas from 1974 now. Remember, 1974 is Black Christmas. All right. So, Batman, you say, too bad Bob Clark didn't do a sequel. I bet it would have been better than the other two. Oh, I can guarantee it, Batman. So, moving on to, whoops, can't hold on to anything. The Blob remake from 1988. I love this remake. This is one of the better remakes that came out. Um, so, this is a tale about a vile, malignant life form that crashes to Earth in rural America, right? In a town called Arborville. Um, the Blob does only one thing and it does it well. It eats anything and everything that moves, men, women, and children. It does not discriminate. And tonight it wants to swallow the whole town of Arborville, basically. Um, so those of you that have seen the original Blob from the 50s, but you haven't seen this, hey, check it out, people. This has great special effects. And I agree with the synopsis. It comes to life with state of the art special effects and the tradition of such thrilling remakes as The Thing and The Fly. Yes, it definitely fits in with those movies. Maybe not quite as good as those two, but it is still very, very good. Um, so, there's not a lot of plot to get in the way here. That's basically is the plot of the Blob. This, life form comes from outer space, wants to devour this whole town. Okay. Um, but it's filmed really well. It's well acted. We've got Kevin Dillon. We got Shawnee Smith, Donovan Litch. I think I'm pronouncing his name right. Who is Donovan's son, the singer Donovan's son, if you didn't know that. Jeffrey DeMunn and Candy Clark are all in this. The screenplays by Chuck Russell and Frank Darabont. These are two high caliber guys. And it's also directed by Chuck Russell. The creature effects are designed and created by Lyle Conway. So, yeah, this fantastic. I don't think that I have to really go into huge details about the Blob. If you've seen either the 1950s version or this version, you know the plot of the Blob. But I'm just talking about this is one of the greatest horror remakes ever to grace my screen. Probably to grace theatrical screens when it came out. So if you haven't seen The Blob, yeah, I highly recommend it. You gotta, try to find a for free version, obviously, but check The Blob out. I don't think that you're going to be disappointed by that. You got the cover of Paul in the Blob Batman. Wonder. Yeah, I probably need to switch this around. Is that what you're talking about there? I'm actually going to change my cover out um, so that I can have both. See, this will be another one Jay wouldn't want to be tearing up probably because you have the option. All right. There we go. So, what will I give the Blob for all the goodness that I just described? Yep, gonna have to give it 5 deadites out of 5 because it's a fantastic movie. It's a fantastic remake. Hits all the bases. Can't find, a thing wrong with this movie. Maybe some other people can, but not this gal. Yeah, Criterion actually put out the original Blob, which it's actually really, really good and really, really fun, Blissful. I would recommend it. Okay, gang. This brings us to the final movie of the night, and that's Blood Beat. And I told you this damn thing is crazy. And not really that great. I mean, to be honest. So so basic story, Sarah and her boyfriend Ted have decided to spend Christmas. I told you it was a Christmas horror movie technically, with Ted's mother at her home in rural Wisconsin. So upon arriving, Sarah begins to feel a strange presence around her, and soon after, a mysterious figure garbed in a samurai outfit, I am not kidding on this, begins murdering the townsfolk, eventually setting his sights on Sarah, Ted, and his family. So, this is referred to as a supernatural slasher film like no other. Fabrice Zafrito's French US co production, Bloodbeat, applies an art house aesthetic. I think part of that art house aesthetic that they speak of is part of the big reason why I don't care for this movie a lot. Um, Resulting in a dreamy and haunting atmosphere to complement the bloodletting and outrageous twist. This was barely released on video in the US and never officially released on disc. Vinegar Syndrome presents the Blu ray debut of this one of a kind horror oddity restored in 4K from its original 35 millimeter negative. Okay. Yeah, but the movie just ain't that good, folks. I have not rewatched it since I got it because I remember sitting there watching it. I was like, "What in the hell is this?" You know. And I watch some bad movies. I do, and I get some enjoyment out of them. However, Bloodbeat, not so much. Maybe I need to give it a while and then watch it again, and maybe my impression of it will have changed by then. Um, I don't know if Fabrice Zafriatos has done anything else. If you know that they have, you can let me know in the chat. Batman, you say you love the ending song Brave New Love by Alien. Yeah, I mean, the music, if anything, is good in this. If you're if you're talking about this, um, I I would say, yeah, that's probably about the best thing about it. It's only 86 minutes from 1982. It would be worth giving it a try if you could find a for free version. Don't do like I did and just blind buy it. That's one of the mistakes I've made many, many times. But let's see what rating I'm going to give to this one. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to give it a 2. Yeah. Yeah. Now, if my impressions change later on, um, I'll try to remember to let you guys and gals know. But that's where it stands right now. Oh, for Blob. Okay. Sorry, Batman, got confused. Um, but I do like that song. I know what you're talking about. But so I could probably stay on here for a few more minutes, maybe till 10 after, but I didn't want to stay on here too long, keep y'all from relaxing or doing whatever you want. And I probably need to rest myself too. If we're going to leave out early tomorrow for the Newport Aquarium. And so if anybody's got any questions for me or want to add to what I talked about, tonight, feel free in these few minutes that I am still on here. Um, I'm just saying if they have sent anything to me since I sent that last thing to Stripe about. But I don't know if I'm going to continue to use Stripe, since I got the PayPal um, set up, and they haven't sent me anything yet saying they couldn't verify things. So maybe I'll be able to get my money soon. Kathy, you say you're watching Black Christmas now. I'd love to hear, your thoughts on that after you finish it. Oh, awesome, Bliss. What do you say? Sorry about that, guys and gals. Knocked a pin off. You say you bonded with another person looking for horror movies. You mentioned this channel. Well, thank you, Bliss. Well, I appreciate the advertising. Um, Let me advertise this wonderful shirt too. Go pick yours up now from Temu before they run out of them, right? Because as many of you know, I'm sure Temu, sometimes runs out of stock of their shirts. That's what you say. All they had was bad chick flicks. But I guess I could, play some of the commercials maybe. Hold on one second here. So we'll start with the
Come into the parlor, dearies. It's terror time tea with Evil Dead Chick. Hardly your views to make your cup run over.
Leslie, you say, don't tell Wes if I mentioned Dead Pit as well. LOL. People don't know about the horror community. Oh, I won't tell him, Blissful, but I'm sure he'd be happy that you mentioned Dead Pit, that you're kind of spreading the word. Um, let's try. Let's see.
Slow ahead? I can go slow ahead. Come down here and drink some of this shit. Chum cocktail.
Quinn's handcrafted chum cocktails. Stock up before your next shark hunting adventure.
Okay. Gonna run through all the commercials here.
What are people saying about the TMI show?
All right, all right, all right.
Want to hear something juicy?
Something spicy?
Then tune in to TMI with Dana and Jay, where things get wild.
You may giggle.
You may blush.
But you won't regret it.
I haven't been the same since I watched TMI 1 with Dana and Jay. It's just, I can't deal with it. It was so cool. And I hear that there's a TMI 2. Y'all need to stay tuned out and watch some stuff with Dana. All right? Evil Dead Chick's got it going on.
The TMI show was about exposing myself. It was about stripping myself bare. It was about giving till it hurts. Ah!
All right, one more, and then I promise I'll quit showing commercials here. Let's see. Hello, my name is Dana, and I am one half of the Midday with Dana and Jay team. I'm pretty much the straight man or straight woman. But here's Jay. He's more fun than I am.
Why did Mickey Mouse divorce Minnie Mouse? 'Cause she's fucking goofy. Find out things like that and more on Midday with Dana and Jay, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central. I might get naked. Hell, I'll probably get naked. Don't you miss it.
All righty. So now y'all watch most of the commercials. Kathy, you say I saw Blissful on Dead Pit when I told CK he hurt my feelings. He hurt your feelings, Kathy? What'd he do? Um, Thank you, Blissful. Blissful says I love all the commercials you made. Batman, you say I seen a video of someone spray painting over a Twilight Blu-ray. Said that they was destroying it. I was like, let me show you how it's done. Blissful says, Kathy, you made them stutter. Batman says, Bliss, I think I might have found your Facebook profile. And she says, I'm on Dana's friends list. Yep, Blissful certainly is. Hey, 19 Garden. She said the shark commercial is my favorite. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. So, I hate to get off of here when 19 Gardens just came in here. But I do want to stay on here and see what CK did to hurt Kathy's feelings, because I might have to get on his butt. I heard that they were claiming I was sick with diarrhea, and that's why I couldn't do the stream last night with TJ, which is untrue. That's untrue. By the way, I had cold symptoms, sore throat and stuff like that. I definitely did not have diarrhea. Kathy, you say you mentioned a while back I come to the Dead Pitch stream because my brother told me to. Oh, he shouldn't have done that. Shame on him. CK, shame on you if you watch this. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and skedaddle on out of here for the night and try to get some rest before going to the Newport Aquarium tomorrow. Hopefully I can report back on all that goodness at some point. See, yeah, you learned about Dead Pit early on. Yeah, 2009. I was just a tad earlier than you. It was the end of 2008, I think, when I first heard them. But thank you guys and gals for joining me. I think we had about 17 in here at one point. Thank you, Kathy. I think I am going to have some fun tomorrow, and I'm going to hopefully can take a lot of pictures and stuff. And I think when I get off here, I'm going to do a few things, and then I want to have me some more of those scones with clotted cream and Concord grape jelly, because I got some left, and boy, I want some. But I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight, and I will see everyone next time.